what y'all thinking. What is this? Oh, yeah, that's right. Late night, because it's nighttime. That's right. I'm your humble host, your man, your myth, your legend, Eric Knight. And I got my man, the one man and the only man that can check you into the Heartbreak Hotel, the Heartbreak Prince himself. Man, look, this is a different edition. This is what we call nighttime. That's right. So today, well, we got to talk about a couple of things. But first and foremost, we got to talk about Monday Night Raw, baby. There was a lot of great things that happened on Monday Night Raw. Now, fortunately, it wasn't 3 hours, but it was 2 hours and 30 minutes of heat, 2 hours and 30 minutes of fire, 2 hours and 30 minutes of nonstop storytelling that just kept getting better, baby. And honestly, a couple of real important things that happened uh, yesterday, and it was great. First thing, got to talk about one of the main things, one of the important things, Becky Lynch. Okay, the man. Look, we talked about everything that was going on with her and Lyra. We said the whole thing. First of all, WrestleMania. Told y'all. If anybody's gonna be coming around, it's gonna be Becky Lynch, the man. And what happened? Now she's coming out. She comes out and she actually says that she is the one that attacked Bailey. She's the one that attacked Bailey for so many reasons. The reason why was because that apparently Bailey has been really at her since 2019. And she told her to ditch that. Come on, you know the rest. And it was crazy. So Lyra comes out. She says, you know what? Say what you want, Becky. I don't care if you really attack me from behind, but at the same time, I know you can't beat me. I know I'm a better wrestler than you. I know I'm a better person than you. And honestly, she even tells her she doesn't want to be the next Becky Lynch anymore. She's Lyra Valkyria. Now, honestly, this was a great promo. This was something that we've been telling y'all for weeks, for months, probably since she's won this title, that this girl needs something like this. And honestly, this is good for her. So what happens? Becky says all this stuff, calls her a little punk. And honestly, she already challenged her for the title at Backlash. Literally, what happens after this? Lyra comes out, kicks Becky Lynch. I mean, honestly, and it's looking good. Becky now is knocked out, comes running out of the ring. And then Lyra holding up the title, looking strong. Then, after she's looking strong, she starts walking back to the entrance. Then what happens? The man comes and attacks her back again. And honestly, this is how it's looking at the end. But the most just the best thing about this, honestly, was the promo work. The promo work that these women put on. This this was something that Lyra Valkyria needed. And honestly, she's always had this. Now, we've told y'all before, Lyra can go on the mic, but they just haven't given her anything to do anything on the mic. But this was her time, and this was her chance. And honestly, she killed it. And honestly, she even had the crowd behind her. To the point, even multiple times, when she's even said, the city. Okay, cool. You can say the city and the town, whatever. But even more than just that, I feel like she's really she really had her time. She had her moment this time, and it looked good for Lyra, man. I was proud to see her. I was proud to see it. Uh, Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think about that?
She speaks. That's what I thought. She actually speaks. It's been crazy because she's been our Intercontinental Champion for months, and we haven't heard her cut a promo. We haven't heard her on the mic. We haven't seen her in in any type of rivalry, really. I mean, so it was just good to see that they finally started to kind of put together some type of story around Lyra. And then for her to not only be able to get on the mic and cut an awesome promo against Becky Lynch, she really added to her story and her prestige of her having the Intercontinental Championship, because now she's going against Becky, and it's going to make that championship feel that much more important. Because do we want to see the Man have the championship with the way that she's been acting as of late? I don't know. Do we want to see Lara, kind of continue on this journey as the Intercontinental Champion and be put into more and more stories where she can continue to grow and we can continue to get to know her as our Intercontinental Champion? I don't know. But what I do know is this is really good either way. And, it's just sad that it took Becky Lynch coming back in order for us to get here, because I feel like they've had this talent in Lara for a while, but they just did not really, do anything around her to really allow us to really enjoy her reign as Intercontinental Champion. And if this is the end for her, that kind of sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, man. Honestly, I'm hoping it's not the end for her. Honestly, I'm hoping at this point, hey, if y'all just gave Lyra a storyline, she might as well be the one to defend the title and then still have some better storylines. Because I think, honestly, this proves she can go up against, if you can go up against the man, Becky Lynch, if you can do that, go up against her on the mic. And honestly, I felt like sounded better, sounded smoother. And honestly, we all know Lyra is the better wrestler if we're talking about, moveset, basically moveset. If we're looking at that,
Amen to that.
you know what I'm saying? Lyra's got it over the man. Okay, so we got to look at it like that. But honestly, I'd like to see what they do with Lyra. I'm very happy and I'm very proud that they actually finally listen again. Because y'all stay listening to us. Y'all might as well just sign us by now. I don't get it.
It's coming in the future. It's coming.
It's coming. It's coming. It's coming. But we got to talk about another, great thing that happened on Raw. Something that was very, very interesting. And if it would be crazy if we didn't talk about what was going on with Seth, the Visionary, the Monday Night Messiah. Okay, look. Oh, come on, man. That's the architect. Man, he came out. He said that he's got a whole new revolution going on. This is something that is going to be new and something that's going to be the future, something that is going to change WWE for the better. And honestly, more and more, as I'm seeing this, I'm saying to myself, man, I think Seth is the one that sold his soul. And then also to go back to Becky Lynch, just to talk about her jacket, actually. Her jacket said best in the business. So something about that was very sus to me. So I wondered, what's her alliance in? And of course, Becky and Seth are together. We know this. But if Becky is also in this group, that'll be very interesting. Okay. See what's going on with that. But Seth, tell Sammy, I don't want you to get in the way. So it's either you're with us or you become a target. And he tells Sammy. Sammy says, well, I'm not going to go anywhere. Seth offers Sammy opportunity to go back to SmackDown. He tells him, if you go to SmackDown, you don't have to worry about anything. The wise man, Paul Heyman, will arrange it. He'll line it. He'll set it up. And that way you don't have to worry about any of this. You'll be completely free. Sammy says, I'm not about to do any of that. I'm not about to move. I'm about to stand my ground. I'm also going to be soon to be a world champion. Yeah, you might want to sign Sammy up. He might be the next one to win that Royal Rumble. I'm not going to lie. The way he cut that promo had me thinking. But we'll see. But Seth tells that to Sammy. Sammy then later on in the night, he talks to Paul Heyman backstage. Even after that, now Seth offers it. He offers and he tells him, if you don't give me that answer by tonight, we'll see what happens. We come across that night. Sammy tells Seth, piss off. To hell with this. I'm done. Pretty much a Cody situation that we seen with The Rock at Elimination Chamber. Okay, we're not going to talk about that, but a lot of similarities to that. So now Sammy's facing Braun Breaker, and man, was this a banger. And honestly, Braun looks strong. And at the end, we flash forward to Seth giving the signal, the same signal. Very important here. Something about this is very important we need to pay attention to. Gives Braun the signal. And what happens? Oh, man. Braun literally decimates Sami Zayn. Goes around, runs around. You know how he, this man pretty much runs top speed, 30 miles per hour. Spears Sammy, puts him down. Then, after that, they bring Sammy back into the ring. Seth tells Braun, it's time to finish him. It's time to finish this. And what does Seth do? Seth goes ahead and he curb stomps Sami Zayn right in front of anybody. And then honestly, it's again another image of Seth, Braun, and Paul Heyman. And this is the finish right here. I'll tell you, that is something that you call cinema. You know, it's one of those things. We talk about aura, we talk about storyline, we talk about how good is this getting. And honestly, I ain't gonna lie, Seth, you doing some of your best work right now, man. Honestly, I mean, the way this man is cooking up the Monday Night Messiah, I love everything he's doing with this whole thing. And it starts to make me think: is Sammy possibly the person that he might bring into the group? Maybe. Because I do feel like there's been so many interactions with Seth and Sammy over the past year, you know, with the whole, you know, him trying to get, when Sammy was trying to get Seth to join, you know, Roman and everybody for War Games, and all the situations when Seth was trying to, you know, talk to Sammy multiple times about the whole thing with him and Roman Reigns. So I think now there's a possibility that there could be an alliance. And of course, with Sammy and Paul Heyman, that I just feel like there's just so much that they're trying to paint a picture with this. There's a possibility that there could be Sami Zayn joining this group with Seth Rollins. I don't know. I'm not gonna say that, but I feel like there were some nuggets, there were some hints, there were some possible things we need to look at and possibly see that this could be a situation where Sami Zayn could be that next member to join Seth Rollins. Now, I don't think he'd be more of a henchman. I think he'd be more almost like a maybe like an equal almost, or maybe like a second equal. I don't know. To the point where maybe Sammy has his own thing that he does. Maybe Sammy's the one that, you know, maybe he does get that world title and he's part of that group. Who knows? I don't know, man. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Man, I this was a great segment, and I really, I'm really happy with the way things are starting to look for Seth Rollins. Man, he comes out and he tells you he's the visionary, he is a revolutionary, he is Seth freaking Rollins, and this story around him and like the little subtle things that I'm noticing that's happening, and I'm like, man, they could have gold right here with this story if they are doing it right. You know, to go along with what you were talking about a minute ago with some of how the story is kind of playing off the elimination chamber and the Rock with the selling of the soul, and Seth has been this person that he's tried to like he's tried to claim himself as the savior of WWE. When he talks about Roman Reigns, a CM Punk, and them being part timers, and one being here just for the money and all of that stuff, but it's being done in this very, very heelish way where it's, the confrontation between Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins was very interesting because it had a dynamic of Sammy's like, listen, do you know who you sound like right now? Do you know who you're acting like right now?
Mm-hmm.
But Seth is in this mode that he's the Messiah, so he can do no wrong. He is doing no wrong. He's saving wrestling. But he's telling Sammy, if you don't join me, then you better go to SmackDown and I'll make all of this stuff happen for you. Which I'm like, this is more and more like he has power or has some type of authority with, the final boss. And I'm starting to believe exactly like you said that some way, somehow, and if they're doing this is gold, that Seth actually sold his soul to The Rock as well for what he deems as the fame, the popularity, and the championship, to be the head man. And now you have Paul Heyman, which just further straps rockets to this ascension that he's going to be on, along with Braun Breaker. And this tandem, it's perfect. And I hope that the story really plays out and really delivers with the way they're setting it up. And then you to add into this mix Sami Zayn, who kind of was tugging at the heartstrings because in our own private and personal conversations, we've talked about it. And I've said time and time again, I think it's criminal that Sami Zayn has not held the championship one time. Now, I don't know if it's because of him, his stature, how, like you said, how Seth Rollins navigate the behind the scenes things that he's just never been good at, and he's never gotten these opportunities because Sami Zayn is just a phenomenal wrestler. Has phenomenal matches, as we saw with Kevin Owens, as we saw with Roman Reigns when they had the Bloodline feud going on. If you give him stuff to work with, he's phenomenal, and especially when it comes to delivering in the ring. And it's crazy because Kevin Owens actually, got multiple title reigns, and Sami Zayn hadn't received one reign until last year, where he finally won his first title, the Intercontinental Championship, and he didn't even have that long. So, long story short, I was just really thrilled at the idea that they look like they're putting together a long-term story that can take us all the way into Mania. And I like the little twists and turns, and I hope out of this at some point Sami Zayn actually does have the world title, because you need somebody to go against. Because we talked about this, Ian. You said this a couple times on a couple of previous shows, that this is the year of the villain, and that's what it's feeling like to me in WWE right now. And it is the year of the villain. The villain right now is just, they're over. All the villains, and so it's crazy. So I'm trying to. I like to see the good guys try to take control back. But it's gonna be hard. You got the final boss. You got the Messiah. I mean, I don't know what's going on there. It's getting crazy.
That's what I'm saying, man. Like, there's a lot of potential with what they got going on, and I'm hoping this is how they go. I hope they don't give us another Travis Scott situation.
Man, no, get out, nah.
That's what I'm hoping they don't do,
Man.
because it's like we don't need that.
No,
Please,
no.
please. Oh
Yeah.
my God.
Yeah.
Oh man. But we talked about some of the great things with Monday Night Raw. Now we gotta talk about the great things that happened tonight with Shawn Michaels cooking it up with NXT, baby. Man, that beat goes crazy every time. Now, Sean, I'm not gonna lie, you cooked tonight. A few seasonings, I felt like you missed out. Okay, when it comes to some things that are bringing me to tears, when it comes to some things that were disheartening, okay, couple of things, and maybe that's just not the time yet. But let's talk about one thing. One thing that was really good was Josh Briggs and Inamura losing to Hank and Tank. And Hank and Tank got their first title defense. Man, honestly, this match was a banger. I thought 100% this is showing how much Hank and Tank have really been just that tag team. And I think this is showing so much storyline for these guys. Now, honestly, the Heartbreak Prince talks so much about how the storyline for these guys was so simple, and this has worked for him. And I'm really thinking Hank and Tank might have these titles, and I don't want to say it's going to be so early to call, because we know how it goes sometimes with NXT. Titles can change hands fast. But I think Hank and Tank could have these titles for a long time, and I'm thinking possibly. Maybe all the way up until Stand and Deliver. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm thinking.
I say let's go.
That's what I'm
Let's
thinking,
do
man.
it.
I think they're gonna be the ones that have it and have multiple great title defenses. Because it's like, you think about the match they put on at Stand and Deliver, the banger that they put on. I think if they continue to keep doing that, just like how Fraxium was, oh yeah, I think these
Fraxium
guys
had the
can
belts
have it all the
forever.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fraxium had it forever. Let Hank and Tank run, man. They look. They got the win at their sales. Let them go. I agree. I this match, the performance they put on, it's just fun watching them. It's just fun just knowing the story and then watching them in action. It's just great. So yeah, I say let them run, man.
Yeah, man. That's what I'm saying, man. I think they really got something. I think not even I think honestly, this is where, because I always used to think when it came to Hank and Tank at first, I was like, man, they remind me so much of Heavy Machinery or what Heavy Machinery
Yeah.
should have been
Should
like,
have been.
you know? And it's like,
Yeah.
I feel like this is a pure example of this is Heavy Machinery 2.0 right here.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
I love Hank and Tank. Like
Yeah.
I think what they got is good. They both got charisma. They both bring in
They
like a
do.
story, and I think they know how to tell the story, and it's showing.
Yeah.
So yeah, hey, Hank and Tank, keep doing what you're doing. I don't think there's a tag team right now on NXT division right now that can touch y'all.
No.
Hey, it's
At
gonna be
least
a
not with the
while.
men's. Yeah, because now that
Yeah,
Fraction's gone, yeah, not with the men's. Not yet anyway.
yeah, definitely not yet. I mean, you can say Tyson and Tyree swipe right. These guys, I'm not taking
Yeah.
serious right now.
And I don't
So
know what
yeah,
Dark State's gonna do if they're gonna have a tag team like little. I had to
you
throw it
know.
in there. I know it bothers you. I had to toss it in there.
I don't mind Darcy. It's like every week they grow on me. It's like the I think it's just Dion Brooks. I think it's just him. I think it really is because it's just like, bro, you were so quiet with the glasses and the book for so long. Now every time we see you on the camera, you want to scream. Get
Yeah.
out of here, bro. I'm not hearing this. I can't take it serious. I mean, don't get me wrong. They were like, oh yeah, he's a hothead. That's not what he was when we seen him. He
Yeah.
was always chill. But all of
Yeah.
a sudden now he's a hothead. He's always been, man, please, y'all killed me with that one. Not bad, but again, I don't know. Maybe it's something about him, man. I
Yeah.
don't know.
Man, but every night, every week they're trying, man. They're trying to get Dark State over. I don't know if it's gonna work, but this is something that's probably gonna take time. I mean, I think the problem, at least for me right now, I'm gonna speak, from myself, is I feel like they like a second rate Shield. And I just when I
And
see them come
Retribution put
out,
together.
yeah, the way they come out, they're always up in the crowd. They try to have this mean mug, and then they come running down, and some of them just look weird. Yeah, they got the mask on. They don't look comfortable in themselves. It's sometimes, but when they get in the ring and they wrestle, I do think that they deliver on the tenacity and the ferociousness of what they tried to put on. But it's just the look prior to them getting to the ring when they first come out, or when the light spotlights hit on them, they all just look uncomfortable, and then it goes. They're trying to get Dark State over. I don't know how that's gonna go, or whatever. But I just every time I see him, I think about the Shield, and I think that's what.
No, yeah, I mean that's what everybody's saying too. So it ain't just you. I think a lot of us feel that same way, and I think it's just the delivery of it.
Yeah,
And I've said
yeah,
this before. I think LFG is showing us too much to where now it's like when I'm looking at how you guys are making these factions, I'm like, you shouldn't have shown me this. This is when
yeah,
you show too much of the curtain
yeah,
and you've exposed it. So now my head is like, I'm not liking
yeah.
this. I'm not.
Yeah.
I don't
Well,
know.
and one other thing, since we talking about LFG, since you brought him up, and before we move on, what did you think about the way Taker, shows up and talks to the ruler, you
Oh,
know, and how the ruler handled it? I
honestly,
want to know your thoughts.
honestly, in my opinion, I was like, when the taker stops you and tells you, and this ain't the first encounter, this is like, hey, this is about the second, third time
Yeah,
Taker's popped up on the ruler. And honestly, I think when I see something like that, big things.
yeah,
Big things for Oba Femi, man. I
ooh,
think ooh, the ruler, because man, come on, we gotta stop playing with him, man.
yeah.
I think he's up next to definitely be
I hope,
a main eventer, man.
yeah, I
Like,
hope so.
yeah,
Yeah,
he definitely deserves to be up there. I think he's got everything. He's
yeah,
got the charisma,
yep,
he's got the tenacity, he's got the intensity. He can do
yeah,
it in the ring, he can sell.
yeah.
Everything about him, he's the total package. Pause.
Yes,
So I think they
not Lex
have
Luger.
got to definitely, yeah.
Not a Lex Luger reference. Yo, hey, Hey, nighttime's going crazy.
Hey, go crazy. That's how it goes.
But no, I thought that was pretty cool, and I just love how he just handles every situation just with just a confidence, that
Yeah.
it's unmatched. Like, Taker rolls up, tells him, this is your yard. And but I got people that's gonna come, that's getting ready to come challenge you. And he shows people from LFG, they come rolling up on him. He just turns to him and he was like, this is who I have to watch out for. And just kind of like, shakes the Taker's hand and walks on off. And I say, it's the ruler. You stepping into his kingdom. You stepping into the kingdom of the ruler. He's gonna show you why he does exactly that. But I just thought that was a cool segment for the ruler. I mean, hey, anytime I see Oba, I'm always happy to see what he's gonna deliver, because if it's on, even if it's on the mic or if it's in the ring, he's just showing you why he is NXT. Unlike some other people, tricking ain't easy. But all right, let me let you get back to your thing.
Oh man, no, it's good because this is something that wasn't good. This was something that made no sense. This is something that had us all pretty much confused because we talk and we wonder, Sean, why Sean? Why Sean? Why did you do this? Why are we breaking up Metaphor? You give Noam Dar the Heritage Cup or Mensa doing his thing on Evolve. We know this. This we know. Okay. Lash and Jakar Jacks, the Meta Girls, went to Saudi. Lash go ahead and debuts at the Royal Rumble. They have a match for the WWE Women's Tag Team Champions. And then you come back on NXT. They lose 2 of those matches, the last 2 that they've been on. Now you have Lash. Tell Aura. Tell Noam Dar. Tell Jakara Jackson that it's time for everybody to go their own separate ways. Are you kidding me? This is a group you should have kept. Why would you break this group up? Everything about this group was completely different. This wasn't a Judgment Day. This wasn't a D-Generation X. Hell, this wasn't an Undisputed Era. Hell, this wasn't a Bloodline. This was something that was different. This was Metaphor. Completely different. You had 2 dudes from the UK. Black dude or Mensa. He was, I think, Jamaican and I think British. Noam Dar. This man's from the UK. Lash, Jakara, both from America. Two young black athletes going crazy, killing. The dynamic that this group had was crazy. You mean to tell me you couldn't see this on the main roster? You couldn't see this group on the main roster? Why? This is a main roster kind of group. You know why? I'll tell you why. Mensa Aria's guy, he can do his own thing in the ring, goes crazy. Noam Dar kills it on the mic, has his own. He was already doing stuff on the mic when he was on 205 Live, even before that. Okay? The Lash, the Big Lash, the Bougie Bully. We've been calling her the Big Lash. So, who knows? Maybe she'll go by that when she's going by herself now. The Big Lash. We know. Sky had her own show. Killed it on that. Jakara Jackson, what we going to do with Jakara? Huh? What y'all going to do? Don't have her in the back in catering. Or don't have her, don't move her up to the main roster doing nothing, put her in 3 matches, and then you drop her when you put her on the main roster like you did my girl Blair Davenport. Don't do that. There's no reason why this group should have broke up. No reason at all. You just had Noam Dar win the Heritage Cup. In everybody's mind, we thought Metaphor is back. Metaphor is here to stay. There was no legitimate reason to break this group up. Sean, this was a miss. This is where the seasoning was lacking. Great Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
Man, it was. You know what? I don't know. I don't know, because on the one hand, I'm like, all right, well, could this be big things for Lash, and Jakar? Could they be going to the main roster? Or what is are they going to be just in catering? You don't know. And it's like, yeah, I don't know why they couldn't keep them together. It's like Noam Dar just came back, so you just really got the Metaphor reunited. And I don't know if they just felt like they just did not have anything for them. There was no way to put them into any good storylines. And then, like I said, I don't know what they've been doing with Lash and Jakar Jackson for the last few months, because they were kind of on a rise, and then all of a sudden they just started dropping matches left and right, and now they have this. And so I don't know. This is a head scratcher, and is one that we're gonna have to set on the shelf for right now and come back to later, give it some time to figure out exactly what we're doing, like that Rubik's Cube you can't kind of put together or whatever, can't quite put together. And just like I can't quite put together my sentence, but yeah, you got to come back. You got to come back to this a little bit later, because I really just don't know, and I'm nervous for Lash and Jakar, because I really like them and I really want to see them do big things. I feel like by now Lash should have held the title, whether it be the North American Championship or the NXT Women's Championship. As good as she's been in the ring, every time you see her in the ring and the matches she puts on, she's amazing. Jakar Jackson, the women's tag team champion, something. And every time they've kind of gone a different direction, and now this. So I don't know. I just, this one I'm gonna have to come back to.
Yeah, man, because we talk a lot about Lash Legend, man. We talk a lot about Jakara Jackson, and just the work that they've been doing for these for the last couple of years, if
Yeah.
not the last year or so. Just them cooking up in general in the ring,
Mhm.
especially Jakara Jackson's been getting better every time.
Yeah.
That girl's been putting on classics,
Yeah.
showing how good she's been getting, showing how much better she is. So honestly, that's why I'm just like, why? Why? Tell me, because I know it ain't human nature. And I ain't talking Michael Jackson,
Michael
because that's
Jackson. Oh,
crazy.
nighttime. Why?
Man, it's
Why?
insane.
Tell
Why?
them that it's human
Human nature.
nature. Why?
Why?
Why
Why do you
do
do
we
me
do
that
this
way?
thing?
Man, this is crazy.
Hey, we wildin'. We
But
wildin'.
let's talk about a better situation. Something that two of our favorites, our personal favorites, and we
That has more
already
soul
know.
than both of us.
Come on now, well, because this was a very interesting backstage segment that happened tonight with Sol Ruka, Zarya, and Lonnie. Man, come on. All right, look. Sol and Zarya back there talking, right? So saw the match she had with Carmen Petrovic. And of course, because we already know what's going on with her and man, Shanti the Adonis, man. I ain't gonna lie, that man is down bad. But anyway, they were back there talking. Lonnie comes back, says, when I was champion, I was defending that title every week because that's what I did. And it's a shame that the match that you had, you didn't even put your title on the line. So then all of a sudden, Zarya steps up. She starts to say, hold on, nah, nah, nah. I'm not hearing that. We're not gonna hear, I'm not gonna take this disrespect. So you've worked real hard for this, and I'm not gonna let somebody like Kalani just jump the line. So then Lonnie, and then what I'm loving from Lonnie, the heel side of Lonnie. This is working. Lonnie is ready. Look at that face. Look at it, man. This is serious. Heel Lonnie is about to be with it. So now it's about to be
Pretty deadly.
Lonnie and Zarya. Come on now. It's about to be Lonnie and Zarya next week And if she wins and beats Zarya, hey, she's got Sol Ruka at
Mm,
Battleground. So
mm.
we'll see, man. And I'm loving this, man. And I ain't talking McDonald's. This was great. I am very excited. Lonnie, come on now. This is the work and this is the improvement I've been telling you that you've been doing great. Honestly, keep doing what you're doing. This heel side of you is working. Now, what I need y'all to do in NXT, y'all need to change Lonnie's music because it's too babyface. You can't turn Lonnie heel and still have her with this babyface music. I don't know what y'all be thinking with this. It don't work that way. If that's the case, make it to where they got a mute, like, theme song. We can go either or. Because this ain't working for Lonnie. Not that part. Everything else was working great. Wrestling on point. Your mic skills getting better, girl. Come on now. That heel side of you is working. Now, the fact that they're doing Lonnie versus Soul, I'm all for it because we've seen that banger of a classic at Heatwave last year. But honestly, with Soul and Zarya, I'm not gonna lie. Zarya, you're pissing me off. You're getting on my nerves. You're getting in the way. Stop it. I'm sick of seeing Zarya all in the, just all in the mix with Soul. Let Soul Ruka have her time. I just feel like everything is about Zarya. We're putting Zarya on the shoulders of Soul. Get out of here. Get there. When you come out, just be out there in the front and then go backstage. Don't keep taking all the aura away from Soul. Because Soul is snatching enough of them out there.
Oh, my brother. Testify.
Crazy work, man. It's crazy work. Heartbreak Prince, what are your thoughts, man? What you think?
I love what you just said. You know what I think. First of
Hey,
all,
come on
we
now.
need this. We need this at Battleground. We need the rematch. Lonnie bested Soul the last time, but since then, Soul has claimed 3 bodies, and I want to add a fourth. I'm gonna start keeping body counts for Soul. Every time she snatches a Soul, I'm just gonna put it on a ticker, and she needs to add Lonnie's to it. So I'm all for this match because that last match they had was definitely a classic. It was a banger. And the only thing about it was we just didn't get to see, well, I didn't get to see Lonnie's Soul get snatched. But I think it'll be a little bit different now. I think Soul, she's got her footing under her. And I do agree. I have that same vibe of like, hey, we need to move away from having Zarya come out with Soul. Like that would have been good if y'all was going to go ahead and pair them up and let them be a team. But since we've kind of moved from that and let Soul, be an individual champion, go ahead and let Zarya be more of either the henchman, so she's behind. But I don't need her picking Soul up anymore on her neck.
Yeah.
Let Soul come out and do her thing. Let Soul take the crowd in. Let Soul give the energy out, and let's make this about Soul and her time as the Women's North American champion. And so I don't know how long it's gonna take for them to get away with it. I feel like it's kind of trying to set up for something where it's going to ultimately end up being a Zarya versus Soul. There's going to be some type of backstab, coming because the jealousy is going to come. Yeah, exactly. The jealousy is starting. It's going to start to mount after a while. But for now, I'm excited about where this seems to be getting ready to go when we're talking about having Kalani Jordan versus Soul Ruka at Battlegrounds. I do believe that match is going to deliver again, and I like the fact that I have a pretty strong chance of seeing Soul collect another body. I'm all about it. I'm all about it.
Oh yeah. I think Soul's gonna have this title for a while. And honestly, I need them to she's gotta have this title for at least 6 months. I feel like, she's gotta
Agreed.
have it for at least 6 months. The girl's been doing, she's been killing it. And honestly, at this point, if Lonnie faces her, loses, cool. Now it's time for Lonnie to go for the NXT Women's Championship.
Yeah. Let her move on to the next step. Logic.
Yeah.
But we still got a while for that because we got Julia, we got Jada, we got Jordan Grace. So I don't know exactly when Lonnie gonna fit in all of this, but the line ain't getting any shorter. Really, I don't know. I'm gonna deviate again for just a second. I see something in the water, and I really do think that the Stephanie Vaquer is getting ready to drop this title and go to the main roster. I just got that feeling today from the promo or from the little backstage segment. she's like, yeah, I'm ready for to defend my title. I don't know. And then she said, well, we got Julia. And I said, oh, here you go. I said, I don't know. I
I
just,
don't
the
know,
vibe I'm
man.
getting and the way she's been delivering on the main roster, I think that she's captured the eyes of, a Triple H and that team and what they could do with her on the main roster run.
Her
Hey,
and Io.
more, I mean, as you'd like to say, with her and Io, as you say all the time, the aura. And you just see it, man. Like, this lady's on Monday Night Raw as the NXT champion, and the crowd is going crazy. And like, how many times have we seen NXT people come in and the crowd is, doesn't really recognize or know who they are because they may not follow NXT as a development, but they know Stephanie Vaquer and they go crazy for her every time. And then she gets in the ring and she delivers, and she shows that, the main roster is not too big for her. So I don't know. I got the vibe today, and it could just be me, but I got the vibe today that we getting ready to see her, do her last match at NXT, and she's gonna move on to the main roster.
No, I definitely agree because we've been talking about this for a while. Because even when they had that stand and deliver match, I was like, well, if she loses that title, we know where she's going, and this pretty much already showed it. Like I think I think Julia's probably gonna be up next too. And honestly, it's one of those things, man. Like because I feel like they're showing Roxanne Perez. She already done
That's
did
another
her.
one.
She's like showing, yeah, they're showing so much with Roxanne Perez right now. Showing her on the main roster. She's doing so much with Io. Like they just had like even that main event that they had,
Yeah,
banger of a match. Like they
A1,
killed it. Jordan Grace, Io Sky, Roxanne and Julia. Y'all killed that match, by the way. Killed it.
A1.
Io's going crazy with you know,
Yeah,
the, she's
that's
over
my
with that.
girl.
Everybody in the
That's my girl. Let's go. Let's go,
and
EO.
even Io's backstage segment with was it with A? I mean, greatness. I
Yep,
said, oh
great.
yeah, she's
Yep,
getting better. She's getting
yeah,
better. She's more comfortable, and she's over. Like
yeah.
she's to the moon.
And
It's
we are
crazy. That's
talking about
Eels
Cameron
now.
Grimes.
I know. It's crazy. It's Eels now.
Yeah, it's EO. That's our EO. But yeah,
Oh man, but yeah, my man Cameron Grimes, man. Shout out to you, Cameron. But yeah, man. I mean, I think there's so much potential, and I do think Stephanie Vaquer is definitely gonna be getting that call up because I think even when again, when we talk about La Primera, that woman has got aura on her. I mean, honestly, and then I think the best thing when it comes to Stephanie Vaquer, when she's hitting those signature moves, the crowd goes crazy. Ah, 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 ah. Come on, man. We just need Booker T there. Yeah, that's when Wade Barrett gonna try to do it. That's what they do every time. If Booker do it, Wade gonna try to do it. Sometimes Wade, it's not for you to do. It's just for Booker. But you know what? Always gotta give you an E for effort because you're always trying to do what you can.
yeah.
But
Oh yes.
oh yes,
Oh
man. I said,
yes,
oh my
man.
God, Wade. I said, Wade, please, please, Wade, please. Let's not do that again. I think at some point they're gonna have to have Booker on the main roster doing something because I think they're gonna have to have him on whoever the main ones he's doing that commentary for, like the
Mm-hmm.
Trick Willie
Trick.
Wonka and for Stephanie Vaquer.
Stephanie Vaquer.
If they both on the show, he's got to be on
He's got
Raw.
to be
Like
there.
he has to.
Booker makes them. It's crazy. It's Booker makes them like just everything. Like he makes the little moves that they do just that much like more entertaining. Just his
Yeah,
reaction. Yeah, Booker is he has to
knows
be
how
there.
to put them over, man. That's
Yeah.
that's what you're supposed to do as a commentator. There's different ways to it, and he's being creative, man. That's why I tell people Booker's one of the best out there, man. I know what they say, what they're saying. Everybody got their opinion, but Booker T is that guy for real. But somebody that's pretty fun of Booker T. That boy Trick Willie Wonka, boy. I ain't gonna lie. We talked about this man Trick, and the funny thing is with Trick, Trick, you're a funny man. You must have been listening to what we said on Sunday. Because Sunday, what did you do? You popped up. You came to Rebellion and you beat the hell out of Joe Hendry. And that crowd went crazy. Because the first thing I kept saying, I said, well, I don't know what's next for Trick. We said, we don't like how you looking, Trick. We said, man, they done threw you out the title picture for real. And Trick, what'd you do? You came at Rebellion. You beat the hell out of Joe Hendry. Did your thing. Look strong. Look good. Now, Trick Willie Walker go up. He goes up today talking his ish. Talking, saying, hey, I'm Hollywood now. They was calling him Hollywood Trick. Hey, we might be seeing a
Hollywood
whole
Trick.
new one now. This is a new moniker for you, Trick.
And
Hollywood Trick.
was born on this day.
Hollywood Trick. He up on say he on the big screen. You got a show. You about to be on that show on CW. He said the season finale. You on the season finale, which means everybody watching. So hey, shout out to you, Trick. Party. Okay, that's Trick Willie
Shout out,
Walker.
Trick.
That's Hollywood Trick. Yeah, that's right. We going with that one now. We go.
That's
That's
Trick.
Trick. Okay, Trick looked good, and you know what else? He sounded better. I'll tell you this. He didn't fumble this time. You peep that? He did not fumble this time.
He killed it.
Said,
He killed it.
You're really listening to us. Look,
He
hey,
killed
look,
it.
I'm telling we got the recipes for y'all. Okay, look, all y'all got to
Killed it.
listen to us. We're gonna get you to the promised land. And we
Killed
got my man Trick. He killed
Yeah.
it. I was
He killed
proud of him. I said, Trick,
Too.
this is how you supposed to sound every time. You took your time, you sounded smooth, and honestly, nothing felt rushed. He didn't fumble, didn't stumble. That was a perfectly executed promo.
And
Proud
and
of
I
the man.
and he even let the Hollywood Trick play out. Like I don't think he expected the crowd to do that, but when they did it, he didn't rush it. He kind of like took, embraced it and took it in. And I'm like, this is something right here. If he could become Hollywood Trick, that's a whole new trick.
Yeah. Because honestly, like, I felt like even when he came out, I was like, oh, this feels. I said, Trick kind of feel like he back to himself again a little bit. Like I felt the aura again. The crowd still saying, whoop that Trick. I said, okay. And even when he came out, he was just, I said, yeah, Trixie, this is how you're supposed to be. Looking strong, looking good. Came out, and I like how he just really displayed himself. And that's what I'm saying. Him really accepting that Hollywood Trick,
Yep.
that's a good thing to pick up as a wrestler. To listen to that crowd and be able to accept that and to move that with the promo. That's the best thing to do as a wrestler. And you pulled that off, Trick. You just unlocked a new skill. That's something they said happens. And it happened for you tonight. Hollywood Trick was born. Hey, this is good, man. I'm proud of it. I'm proud of it. But because of what you was doing, Trick, now, next week, a 25-man battle royal. And whoever wins that faces Obafemi at Battleground. Now, who's in this? Couple people. Good amount of people from Dark State. Some people from LFG. And the young OG. The young OG is in that match. And I'm curious to see what happens. But I still think I'm starting to think now. I think I'm not gonna say, it's looking like the young OG's time is went and passed because I don't think so. Because it's one of those things where I'm like, man, this is another time we've thrown Javon Evans in the middle of something, and then he kind of goes back to just in the pasture, just kind of figuring it out again. Because again, last week you had to imagine my man, the young Randy Orton. We know who that is, You went with him, and I was like, okay, bet. But what's next for the young OG? What's next for my man Javon Evans? When's the next time my man gonna get bouncy on the mic and in the ring? Because he needs to, honestly. But I think with Javon Evans and Trick Willie Wonka, Hollywood Trick, okay, with him being in this battle royal, I think it might just lead to these two men being the last two. And that's what I'm thinking. And I'm thinking now it might be time for Trick. And this might be Trick's time to do what he got to do. I'm starting to think, if anything, I'm not going to say, because the ruler has had this championship for a while, and I don't want to see him lose it. Because his title reign's been great. That's the ruler. But I mean, what if the ruler goes to the main roster?
Okay.
What if he does?
Talk to me.
I feel like they keep hinting at it. The draft is coming up,
Mhm.
you know, and that's one thing we got to think about too, especially with Battleground. We got a couple of people. It's like, all right, if Obafemi didn't win that stand and deliver, or since Obafemi did
Did
win,
win.
I'm starting to think he might not win at Battleground. And just like we was talking about with La Primera, 70 Valkyrie. Yeah, I don't think that's gonna happen for her too. I don't think she's gonna be retaining neither. I think she's gonna be getting that call up, and I think that main roster is gonna be looking a little different in the next few weeks, next couple of months. So I don't know, man. But if Trick Willie Wonka if they don't feel like he's still ready to go to that main roster, I think they might give him one more year in NXT if they do. I don't think he needs to be in there for another year, but if they did, I think that's what they would do. Maybe give him that title again because there's guys definitely down there that can hold that NXT championship. Excuse me, but I don't think right now if Trick Willie Walker, if Hollywood Trick get up there now, I think he could do something, but I think he still needs some more time for his character to develop. And I think that's what they're trying to let it happen. I think they're trying to let it bake. They're trying to let it cook. I think there's a lot more to Trick Willie Wonka's, or should I say Hollywood Trick? Because
Hollywood.
I don't think he's Trick Willie Wonka no more. I think we about to transition to Hollywood Trick now.
Hollywood.
Hollywood Trick. Yeah, man. So I think once that transitions from, you know, whoop that trick and the Hollywood trick, I think that could be the thing for him. Hey, Mr. Xclusive, he said it himself, man. It is time for Trick to move up. I agree. I agree, but we'll see. We will see. Who knows, man? The only ones that do know are the guys that are writing it, unfortunately.
Hey,
So
we coming out with all these different versions of Trick. You got Hollywood Trick, you got
crash
Trick
out
Willie,
trick.
you got Crash Out Trick,
Yeah.
Willy Wonka Trick. How many tricks can we have?
Man, too many, too many. See, when you got all the
Tricks are
monikers,
for
then you gotta
kids,
live
man.
by it. Oh man. But we
Yeah,
we talked about. Oh, what you got? What you got?
no, I was gonna say, if the ruler does lose at Battleground,
Mm.
then the only thing I can say for that is he better be going to the main roster. Because I think Obafemi he's perfect as NXT champion, and he should have one of them dominant title reigns. Mr. Exclusive, diabolical, man. But yeah, them dominant title reigns that we've seen people have, such as Shayna Baszler, such as who am I missing? Just on the tip of my tongue now.
Ember Moon.
Ember Moon, but also Asuka. That's what I was
Oh
thinking
yeah.
about, Asuka.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I don't really know if we had that for the men's. I mean, we had Samoa Joe and we had
Adam
Finn
Cole.
Balor, Adam. Of
Adam
course,
Cole.
I know you're not gonna forget Mr. Undisputed Era. Yeah, I should have known better. I forget Adam Cole, baby, held that title for forever. But Oba should have something like that. And if they're not gonna call him up to the main roster, hey, I say let him rule until Trick reaches the level. I mean, I think Trick is ready to go to the main roster too. Like he has his little flaws on the mic, but every now and then, what pro
I
doesn't?
think it would be fixable.
Yeah, it's yeah, because like you said, when he's by himself, he cuts great promos for the most part. And sometimes it's just when he has these like off the cuff riffs with different people at the same time, it can get to him sometimes. But I think Trick is definitely ready to go to the main roster too. And then I think if you start him off pairing him up back up with like a Carmelo Hayes and letting them do their thing, they will probably be all right. But if this can take off to where you have this Hollywood Trick and they can do something with that, that would be great. Because it just it reminds of Velveteen Dream and just how creative he was, just the way just the different things he did, and the tights and all that kind of stuff. And I know we keep bringing up Velveteen Dream. It's a dream for me that he will come back to NXT at some point. Can I have a dream? But yeah, Trick definitely can go up to the main roster. Oba's ready to go up to the main roster, but if they're not going to pull Oba up, I don't want him to lose the belt right
Yeah. No, yeah, I
That's
agree.
just me.
Yeah, no, and then it's like I think too, it's like don't put him on the main roster if you're not gonna do anything with him. Because
And that's my
honestly,
fear.
like, yeah, because honestly, like when I look at like somebody like Andrade, right?
Hmm.
Somebody that signed
Perfect
over from
example.
AEW. What is
Yep.
this man doing right now?
I have no idea. And this is his second stint. Like that, he was there, left, went, did stuff with a different promotion, came back. You thought that they would like use him more because of what happened the first time, and he's back in catering again. Like I'm like,
Yeah.
what in the world?
But then they use him for the AAA,
They'll use
oh
him for
yeah,
stuff.
we're like, come on.
It's
Like,
like Jinder Mahal when
yeah.
they made him the
Yeah.
champion. Like they only use him when it's best for business. When it's best for business. But yeah, hey, final boss. That's the final boss. Uh, I'm still disappointed about Mania that we didn't get a final boss appearance, but yeah, that's the thing about it, and that's what I don't want to see, and that's my biggest fear about when we start saying like send Trick up to the main roster, send Over up to the main roster. I'm just like, in my mind, that's a crowded field right now, especially when you're talking about all the different people. Mr. Exclusive, I can't agree more. I miss Velveteen Dream too. I mean, he was legendary
He
during his
was.
time. But my thing is real quick, just before we wrap it up, I'm afraid that if they send them to the main roster and it's a loaded field, because you still got you got Seth Rollins on his role, you got Braun Breaker in the picture, you have Sami Zayn trying to carve his way in. Jay Uso's there now. Don't forget, you still got Drew McIntyre, Damian Priest. Like, there's like a
Oh,
number of
and
people.
also El Grande Americano.
El Grande Americano. Gracias. But
Gracias.
and then I want Finn Balor to be back involved in this at some point. And so it's like there's a lot of people that you're trying to juggle, and eventually you just get to the point where you start saying, well, I have everything for you. And then that, now you got Obafemi, who was on this great reign in NXT, and now he's there and on the main roster sitting in catering, or you got Trick Williams sitting in catering. I mean, I don't know. I'm not. I don't want that.
Yeah.
I'd rather see them every week on the CW and see them in more interesting storylines. Same thing with Tony D. I think what they have with the family could be phenomenal on the main roster. If they do the little story and vignettes, like even with the additional resources, even though sometimes that may not always be great, but with the additional resources that like the main roster, programs would have, like a Raw or a SmackDown, if they could do what they're doing with Tony D'Angelo and the family right there on
On
NXT,
NXT.
they could do
Bro,
even
what?
better. I mean, they have gold that they would have bring Tony D'Angelo to the main roster and the family, and they had that whole thing going. And I mean,
The
yeah,
music, like
the
the
music.
entrance.
I know, like, but I'm afraid. Yes, yes, yeah. I mean, but I'm afraid that they would just ruin them, man. Because that's the thing about these wrestlers going to the main roster. Some of them they just ruin it. They ruin everything, and it's like, man, just send them back to NXT. They were doing so well there. Ember Moon was phenomenal, and they got her to the main roster, and they just treated her like trash.
Yeah.
You know,
Tony Storm, another one. But
Tony
it's like
Storm,
then, and then
timeless Tony
come
Storm.
on now.
How
Peak,
do you let that walk out of the
peak.
building?
That
How do
woman
you
is
let
peak women's wrestling.
peak, peak, and you let that walk out of the building? You developed her all that time and then let her walk out of the building. Get out of here. And that's the thing with the main roster sometimes.
Yeah,
Sorry,
and
I'm
I
on my
mean
low
and
rant.
that's it. No, 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 you're good. No, because I mean we can keep going because we've done this before. Because this is one of those things that I felt like we've talked about before. When we talk about some people that go to that come from WWE and go to AEW. Sometimes they don't have that same freedom at WWE that they would in AEW. Of course, we talked about just like with Athena, aka Ember Moon,
Yep, Ember Moon.
somebody that killed it in NXT, but when got to the main roster, had a problem, couldn't get anywhere. Honestly, I wouldn't say that for Sasha Banks, aka Mercedes Monet, but she's had her problems, of course. How's she doing? She's good. She's doing greatness right now. Timeless Tony Storm, a former NXT UK Women's Champion. After that, what happens? Not too much. Homegirl gets a pie in the face by Charlotte Flair. Goes to AEW. What do we see? Some of the best women's storyline known to man. This woman is peak women's wrestling. Toni Storm, timeless. Come on.
Amen.
Honestly, that's what people need to understand. Sometimes it's okay to go to a different company. And that means you can try something else. And that means you can try a different, character. There are a lot of people that sometimes have to go in order to become better, in order for WWE to see them or for other companies to see. Prime example, look at Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes leaves WWE. What does he do? Starts AEW. Comes
You can
back,
see it.
goes crazy.
And let me toss one more to you while you cooking. The whole Undisputed Era.
Come on. These men went to NXT, killed it. Then never went to the main roster for multiple reasons why, because we knew Vince would have messed that all up. What happens? Now they go to AEW. Adam Cole cooking. First of all, was cooking with MJF. Now if he didn't get injured, man, that storyline would have been so much like it'd have been amazing, even better. Yeah, I was getting tired of people saying all this stuff about Adam Cole. That Adam Cole, hey, y'all better stop that right now. Like my man wasn't out here giving y'all classics for years, promos. Like this man wasn't going crazy in Survivor Series 2019. Let's talk about it. Like the Undisputed Era didn't run that main roster. Okay? Stop talking, man. Stop playing with them. Stop playing like they wasn't doing work. Like these men didn't go crazy. Like my man Roger Strong wasn't going crazy in the triple threat. Elbowing everybody. Stop playing with
that
them,
elbow was
man.
diabolical. His
Crazy.
elbow was diabolical. It was insane.
That was on AJ Shinsuke.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Man, look, Ricochet right now doing some of his great work. I like what Ricochet's doing. Y'all can say what you want. I like him as a heel. People booing him. This is a whole different side of Ricochet I never could imagine. And I love what he's doing. This is great. It shows a different side of a character that they didn't give him a chance to do. Look at Swerve. Swerve's doing great work.
Oh, my
Come
brother
on.
testify.
What come on. Crazy work. He's doing greatness.
Hurt business.
Come on. We heard people. We heard people. Now they're the Hurt Syndicate. The Hurt Syndicate. These men are going crazy in pro wrestling right now. I'm telling you, sometimes it has to happen. Y'all can be this childless thing all you want. End of the day, pro wrestling is pro wrestling. Sometimes you got to do that. And sometimes it's okay to have another alternative for wrestling. We've talked about this before. I tell y'all that, stop always trying to treat it like, oh, if it's not WWE, they suck. Bro, please. WWE, we get it. Storyline. But there is more than just WWE. There's so much more. And a lot of these wrestlers come from these other promotions to get to WWE. Why? Because that's always the dream. Everybody knows it's the dream. But again, that dream can become a nightmare. And I ain't talking American Nightmare. Anyway, look.
Cook.
I'm telling you, man. Look,
Nighttime.
We go crazy on nighttime, okay? This is just the first episode. We're going crazy on this episode. But I mean, they have a lot of potential, I think. They have so much potential to do with a lot of these people on NXT. With a lot of these people on this main roster, with a lot of these people on NXT just in general. But the problem is, again, we've talked about this. They keep signing more people. Y'all keep signing all this talent. And then you got so much developed talent that is cooking up and going crazy. And then they get put on the back burner because you got the new talent up. So let's go ahead and get these guys a whole, storyline going. And then everybody else just pushed to the side. Stop signing people. Y'all need to talk. Have a meeting. We're done signing people. Okay? If you want to train these kids, train them to be good old security guards for a while. To be your future WWE superstars in the next 10 years.
To be yeeted over the ropes like Jordan Grace by Jordan Grace. Sending it and flying.
Oh my God. Yeah, you could be one of him. Come on. That was a great spot. He got that moment.
Yeah.
He might be going home as a hero in his head.
Well, one last thing before you wrap. I hope that with Julia, with
Mm,
Roxanne Perez, and definitely with Stephanie Valkyria being on Monday Night Raw, and fans getting to experience them and see them and understand that they're coming from NXT, that really does put more eyes on NXT, and more people start to check it out and kind of vibe with it, because like I said, um, it's one of my favorite shows to watch during the week.
yeah.
And like and now you're seeing these ladies come up, and you're like, dang, hey, they're that good. You know, they're better than some of the main the main roster women, and that's the type of product you're getting in NXT. If you tune into it.
Yeah. Yeah. I think I get a little concerned though for Julia. I think for Julia, I get worried about her on just some of the momentum and the run she's had lately. I feel like since this match she's lost to Stephanie Valkyria, I don't know, man. I think Stephanie's the one that's taken all the momentum and just skyrocketed. Because when it comes to Julia, I don't feel like she's carrying that same aura anymore. And I feel like little by little it's kind of diminishing. Now, in some ways, maybe I'm looking at it crazy and maybe I'm looking at it differently. But I feel like even her on Raw, when she popped up, I was like, oh, I was like, okay, bet Julia. I don't feel like the crowd went that crazy for her. And why is that? Well, because who came out before her? La Primera, Stephanie Valkyria, the woman with aura. So I feel like she just kind of, it almost feels like Julia's like a shadow, or like Julia's in the shadow of Stephanie Valkyria. Again, I could be overthinking this, but to me, that's kind of just what it comes off as. I don't know, man. Julia's just she's gotta do something to go crazy. I think also, if she is the one that goes to the main roster and not Stephanie Valkyria, that might be best for Julia in order for her to just keep some momentum that can build for her. But again, I still get worried for Julia being on the main roster because I don't feel like she's had a long enough time on NXT. Not to say that she needs it, no, but I feel like she hasn't had enough time for the fan base to gain enough for Julia. And I think for Stephanie Valkyria, that's been everywhere doing a whole bunch of stuff, and her popularity, I don't feel like Julia's had that same momentum. So I feel like for Julie, it's going to take a little bit longer, if not a lot longer. I won't say a lot. Probably just a little bit longer, um, to catch up to Stephanie Valkyria's like whole. I think the fans receiving her and everything. So yeah, I think I don't know. I could be overthinking this, but that's what it's kind of coming off as.
Yeah, time will tell. Time will tell. I'm still a big fan of the beautiful madness. So yeah.
I hear that one, man. But we talked about a lot of the great things with Monday Night Raw, NXT. Make sure also that you follow all of our socials. Facebook, we on that. Instagram, we on that. X, we on that. TikTok, we on that. Hey, and also make sure you guys like and subscribe everything, and make sure you turn those notifications on. But we talked about a lot of the great things that happened with Monday Night Raw. My man Seth, Paul Heyman,
Yeah.
Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria. We talked about a lot of things with NXT. Okay, with Hang Tank,
Yes.
Metaphor,
Yes, I.
Lonnie,
Ooh,
Soul,
that's
and
right.
Hollywood Trick.
Hollywood.
Oh man, because we are the exclusive nights, and we make sure that we are the best there is, the best there
Best there
was,
was,
and the
and the
best it
best
ever
there
will
ever will
be.
be.
Because we are the exclusive nights, and we always ensure that your nights will never
Never
be
be
the
the
same.
same.
Thank y'all again for watching Nighttime with your man, your myth, your legend, your humble host, Eric Knight, and the Heartbreak Prince himself. Y'all check us again. We'll be back again for another edition of Nighttime. We'll see you. Stay good. Stay peaceful. God damn.
Gracias.